Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM21 story, The Head Coach with me, Daniel. It's part 55 today and we are back for our first two games at Southampton. We've set our tactic, we've prepared things and we're into the January transfer window. And we've got two big games, away at Wolves in the Premier League and away at Liverpool in the FA Cup third round. So if you're looking forward to that and seeing how we get on in our first two games in charge, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily content from two long-term stories. And of course you can catch up with all the playlists in the eye above, as well as the last episode of The Head Coach, where we joined Southampton, we met all the staff, and we met all the squad that we're going to be working with today. So if you've missed that one, you can catch up there just to see the players we're working with and what we have in mind for today, before we go and get into our first two games and hopefully avoid bitter disappointment. Some good news off the pitch. The training performance has greatly improved since we've joined the club. We're still 6 points from safety, but we've got the players slightly back on side. They were a little bit sceptical of us at first, but we've had our meeting, we've improved them slightly, and it's starting to get on board. The club atmosphere is excellent. The team cohesion's good. So if there's ever going to be a turnaround, now is the time for it. What we don't know, of course, in comparison to us, is how good these other squads are. We start the January transfer window with some news though. It's only one in terms of outgoings. The transfer budget's gone up and some of these clauses have gone, so I'm guessing 2 or 3 of them have been sold. But Jose Perez looks like he's on his way out. 5 or 6 million to West Brom or Jiangsu, and either way, that's a good return for a 32-year-old not in the squad. But no one coming in just yet, no sign of anyone joining, and we've got loads of fitness tests today. So let's go and get into it. The first game against Wolves, and we'll meet the tactic we've set up as well. So one good thing to start the day, we've got a latest score from Everton versus Leeds, and as it stands, Leeds are winning 2-1, which means that they're in 12th place, they're doing well, they're not going to be in trouble this year. Everton, directly above us, losing again. That's what we need at the moment. A lot of big sides in this league, and some of the traditionally smaller ones doing a bit better. So we've got to be very careful if we want to stay where we are. So let's go and get into the tactical meeting. They're recommending changes, but we're not doing it. This is what we've gone for, and this is the tactic we're applying. We're expecting a 4-4-2 from Wolves, and we have gone for our Derby 4-3-3. Almost identical. Honestly, to the T, almost identical. What we have decided, looking at the lineup, is that we're going to play Panya and Evgen on their unnatural sides. So they're playing on the side that matches their footedness rather than their natural position. So Panya is a right-footed left winger, Evgen is a left-footed right winger, but we're playing them so they can get down the line, get crosses in, and hopefully get Folwell amongst the goals. That's the plan anyway. We've slightly changed the midfield dynamic to what we had at Derby, so we've put a deep line playmaker in the holding role, rather than there having a defensive midfielder or a ball winner. Then in midfield, we've got the box-to-box as we had before, and we've also got a ball winner in Travis. So the idea is that those two are going to be harrying and pressing and trying to get on the end of crosses as well with Folwell. And if we can do that and we can bombard the box, I'm hoping we'll be able to produce some magic. But in terms of the lineup, it has been hampered by injuries. Perez still out with a knock, Tsimikas the same, Kovnacki the same, and Gilligan's on the bench, but he's not really that fit. So the substitutes bench picks itself. We've got one under 23 in the squad, Fabler promoted from there, and Gilligan's just a kid as well. But the lineup for today in the starting 11 is as follows. Odyssey's in goal, Walker Peters and Bernardo the fullbacks with Salisu and Bednarek the centre-halves, Pulgar, Travis and Ward-Prowse the midfield 3, with Panya, Evgen and Folwell the front 3, hoping to cause all the damage. Perhaps not quite as good as the ones we had at Derby. If there's one signing I'd love to have, I'll admit it's Jacob Paul. So Director of Football, go and look at what we did at our previous club. But either way, the set pieces are all James Ward-Prowse. Everything else is looking as good as it can. So let's get into the first day against Wolves and see if we can start the job in style. Do you think we can? Let me know in the comments below. Well, a very interesting Wolves side we've come in to meet. They've got Nelson Semedo still at right back, but their wingers are former Leicester men Damari Gray and Harvey Barnes. They've got a very experienced Jordan Henderson in the middle. Don't forget we're 6 years in now. Ryan Christie's on the bench. Alvaro Morata's on the bench. It's a bit of a mixed bag, really. They're doing a good job, though. They're in mid-table, so they must be a good side. We've got the added problem that a couple of our first 11 weren't in favour with the previous manager, the likes of Bednarek, for example, so they're not match fit. But we're going to tell the lads to impress us. We've not really got them quite on side yet, but this is where we need to turn it around. We're 6 points away from safety, and if we start to sink, and if we start to get further away, will regret leaving Derby. So let's see what the first half brings. A 4-2-3-1 for Wolves, and hopefully we've got the perfect tactic to cope. As they're coming forward on the right-hand side, it's Walker-Peters for us. Travis plays a 1-2 into the box, headed away as far as Ward-Prowse. He's got two up with him, goes alone though. Can go left if he wants to, and does. Finds Bernardo at the byline to cross, back to Ward-Prowse. Into Travis! Oh, it's off the post! Folwell's missed the rebound from 3 yards. How have we not scored there? A really promising start though. As Bednarek's playing a 1-2 with Salisu, we really should have taken the lead. A brilliant chance goes begging, and it remains 0-0 with 15 gone. And we're back again with the ball coming forward from Walker-Peters to Ward-Prowse and Travis. Eric Pulgar finds Ward-Prowse out to Evgen. Cuts inside. Oh, it's a good effort. And maybe that's where you wanted them on the opposite flank. Just drags it wide at a post. We've played really well. But what do we like from set pieces? Into the back post. Off the crossbar. Salisu gets it away. Oh, we've got a weakness there as Balderson picks it up on the right for Wolves. It's been a very even game and suggests that we're probably more of a mid-table side than a relegation one. But we've got to take the chances. And so far, we've not looked like doing that. No shots on target from the chances we've had. That's not a good sign. Having said that, at half-time it's 0-0. We're playing pretty well. We're competing decently. And we're going to say we're pleased. We've got the lads inspired. Now we need more in the second half. Any way we can do it. It doesn't matter if it's ugly. We just need to sneak a win. As Evgen gets it on the left from a throw-in. Falls back to Bernardo. Crossed into Panya. Oh my words. He's unmarked. They're the chances that Hall and Whittaker used to score every game for Derby. You can't miss those. That is a sitter. And look at that. Our expected goals is nearly 1. We've had 3 or 4 really solid chances. And yet to get a shot on target. That shows you exactly where our problem is. So let's go and make some changes with just over 20 to go. And we've got to hope that some of these attacking subs can make the difference. I'm going to bring on young Ukrainian wonder kid Volkov on the right wing for Panya. He's someone who's suited to being a winger. He's good in the air at the back post. And that looks to be important today. I'm not going to take Folwell off. I want him to get used to playing in this tactic. I want him to get used to trying to score. I can't really bring off the midfielders because they're not good enough. And I don't really want to change the centre-half partnership. So for now, no further changes. 22 minutes to go. Can we nick the winner? That realistically, it's been an even game. A draw we can't complain about. But we've had some chances and I'd love to nick one. And we've got a goal kick with Odyssey. Just over 10 to go. Long down the right. It's going to find the left back Lucas for Wolves. Back into Drews and now Balderson. The last thing we want to do is concede a late goal. As Henderson switches the play to Damari Gray. Gets down to the byline on the right. Crosses in. Walker-Peters hoofs clear. Folwell holds it up. Where are the wingers? He doesn't need them. He skins the centre-half. He's in one-on-one. Has to score. Oh, it's a great block. The defender gets back. He does a brilliant job. And with 10 to go, we've still struggled to get the lead despite dominating. Look at the expected goals is now over 1. And we've not had a shot on target. That tells you there's a problem. I'm going to bring on Fabler on the left wing, I think. Or do I put Lucero up front? Folwell could go over to the left wing. Likes being an advanced playmaker, a winger, whatever it may be. I'm going to do it. Right, he's going over to the left, Folwell. Up front is Lucero. I actually think, on paper, Giroud's probably slightly better. But Lucero's harder working. He's still a natural finisher. So let's go for it. 9 minutes to go. It's a Wolves corner kick. And we've got to defend the set pieces. And in fact, we don't see it. We're back for a throw. Pulls your heads away as far as Balderson. Gets it into Jordan Henderson. 30 yards out. Chance to switch it to the right to Semedo. Gets to the byline. Not from here. Great save by Odysseys. Brilliant goalkeeping. Romero unmarked in the middle. He probably should have scored it. And that'll take their expected goals up as well. Corner in. It's another free header. But Odysseys does the job. 7 minutes to go. 2 changes made. We've got one more left and Travis is on a booking. So shall we just bite the bullet and bring Gilligan on? He's a youngster. He's not particularly fit. I don't actually know what position he likes playing. Box to box perhaps? Ball winner maybe? Do you know what? We'll go 2 box to box. Let's see what it does. And although we've not had a shot on target, we've wasted so many chances. This has been a really good display. 3 minutes of stoppage time up. We start with the dullest of 0-0s. But we could have nicked it. A really solid performance. And 1 point closer to safety. A good start, some promising signs, but we need a cutting edge badly. Hopefully, the director of football can address that and we can get Moussa Djenepo back soon too. We're back essentially for our free swing in the FA Cup against Liverpool. And we've got some players back from injury, but we've also got some more out. So Bernardo, the left back, is off ill, and that means we don't have one. Derby 1-0 down to United there as it stood as well, just out of curiosity. And I think Liverpool are going to be playing a pretty strong side based on the fact we've got to close down Curtis Jones, Declan Rice, and a couple of other big names in the footballing world, like Erling Haaland, to name one. So let's go and see what we can do with this lineup, because we've got to start to think about match load. We've got a big game coming up in 6 days against Brighton, or 5 days, sorry. Do we want to be prioritising the FA Cup? I don't know. Equally, a lot of these players, although they've got a heavy match load, they're very fresh in terms of fatigue. And let's be honest, after this, we're only going to be playing once a week per season. So I think I'd rather use this game to get these players a little more familiar with this tactic, because it's not close to what they've been playing before. What I've got to do, though, is find out who the best left-back is. So Vegas is good, but no attacking attributes. Salisu, much the same. And then the other one was Pelmard, the French substitute. Now, he's a bit better going forward, so I think we're going to go with him. Pelmard will start left-back. It's not ideal. Otherwise, do we want to change much, is my only question. We're going to have to put Patterson on the bench because we're running out of options. Although, I tell you what, actually, let's go better than that. The under-18s left-back, what was his name? Adam Brown. He's not quite fit, but off the bench for 10 minutes or so, he might be a solution. So forget Patterson. He's been a naughty boy in real life, and we're judging him on that. What we're going to do, we're going to get the youngster on the bench, and hopefully he'll make a difference. So a couple of under-23s or under-18s there. We're going to stick with the goalkeeper. I think we're going to stick with the attacking positions as well. Perhaps Evgen's got a high injury risk due to previous knocks, and he has played more minutes than most. But other than that, I think everyone else is all right. So we'll bring in the wonder kid Volkov. We'll put Panya to the left-hand side, and over there, he can be his inverted winger on support. A bit like we did when we brought Appiah into the Derby side. Just the 2 changes, I think. The left-back Pelmard, the right winger Volkov. And aside from that, it's exactly as you'd expect. Just a couple more youngsters on the bench. I can't wait to get some of those injured players back. Let's get into the FA Cup tie. A free swing at Anfield. My word, there is a lot to take in here. Maurizio Sarri is in charge of Liverpool. Erling Haaland starts. Van Dijk, Alisson, Hakimi, Sessegnon, Bastoni. What a back 5. Declan Rice, Jones and Pedri in the middle. Houssem Aouar, of course, starred in our Bangor City save in our Champions League matches. And a lot of quality on the bench as well. Andy Robertson, Robert Firmino, Luca Pellegrini. This is some squad. There is no way we're competing. And I tell you what, Liverpool taking the FA Cup a bit more seriously since Jurgen Klopp has left. So we're going to say there's no pressure. We're going to get the boys on side. But let's be honest, this is going to be a real difficult game. Of course, in years gone by, Southampton considered a bit of a feeder club for Liverpool, giving them the sort of stars as they came through the academy. But here, we're going to get battered, I think, as Pedri comes forward early on into Haaland. 5 minutes gone, a goal for Haaland, his 20th of the season. I think, if I'm not wrong, he's been competing for the Ballon d'Or. So how are we supposed to compete? We've got one striker out of form, they've got one very much in it. And now, our out of form striker's injured. He's got a twisted knee, we can't risk him. We've got more important battles than the FA Cup. And this is perhaps why we should have rested people. The benefit to this is the 75 minutes for Lucero to nick one on the break, and he's been woefully out of form. So if he can nick a goal, it might change our season. But as it is, we've not had a shot, we've not had a shot on target, and to be honest, we've barely had a kick at the ball. It's half time, no further damage to the scoreline, but we've just been watching the Liverpool shot counter rack up as we go along. We have got a bit more possession gradually, but we've shown nothing. We're going to get the lads motivated by saying they're unlucky. A 1-0 defeat is a pretty good result in truth. So let's just get into the second half and see if we can keep it respectable. 27 minutes to go. Aouar's got a corner into Haaland, just over the bar. We're not seeing many highlights, but when we are, they normally involve Haaland, so we've got to be careful there. We will go and make some subs in a moment as well, try and get some youngsters on. Of course, we can't bring them all on now because we've had an injury already, as Volkov loses out there. Ward-Prowse finds Panya, shots blocked, back to him again though, into Lucero who's offside. Oh, he finally got his goal and the flag goes up. We're going to VAR to check, but he was definitely off. And unfortunately, it will be chalked off. 1-0 it remains to Liverpool, but a good sign there going forward. Let's go and make some changes. We're going to make the same sub again in midfield with Ian Gilligan coming on for Travers. Not sure if he's left or right footed. He's a lefty. So let's get them both as box-to-box midfielders. but Ward-Prowse can go on the right-hand side. And then the other subs, do we take off the anxious Panya? Do we take off one of the defenders? I don't really know what to go for. I'm going to bring on Fabler for Panya. 2 natural wingers out on their sides. Get the crosses in. And let's try and end Lacero's goal drought. 25 minutes to go though. We've put up a really decent fight. And defensively, bar the odd set piece, we don't look too bad. It's just about giving us a bit of a cutting edge. And if we get the injury to Folwell, and it is that 2 or 3 weeks we're expecting, we could be in a spot of bother. As he comes wide to Hakimi on the right. Absolute star for us at Chelsea last year in the head coach in FM20. But at this point, he's doing the damage against us. As Jones finds him again on the right-hand side for Liverpool. Into Declan Rice, to Jones. Lovely switch of play. In towards Uar, brilliant play. And a good save from Odysseys. Curtis Jones, a bit of disappointment for us. That in our winter series with Luton Town. And of course, let's be honest, in FM19, he was a star for us at Newcastle. So we've had a bit of a mixed bag with him. As we've got it on the right with Walker-Peters. I'd love to nick a goal here. Ward-Prowse gets it wide to him. In towards Fabler. Headed away as far as Pulja. To Gilligan. Oh, what a goal! Ian Gilligan's first of the season is a brilliant goal. What a strike from Gilligan. The youngster is a superstar. It's his first goal for Southampton. And what a way to mark it. And then what a way for that to happen. An injury straight after. I'm guessing we've still only got 3 subs. So now, a minute after that, we've got to play with 10 men. No right winger in the side. Volkov off injured. That's definitely a theme with this side. A lot of injury prone players. And playing the first team today has become a big regret. But the young star, what a goal from the wonder kid. We're not going to hold on with 10 men now. But what a moment it's been nonetheless. As Becker's got a goal kick. If they've got any sense, Liverpool, they'll play down their left where we've only got 1 man. As Hakimi gets the ball down the right-hand side. Beats the challenge. Gets down the line again. Still closing him down out wide. It comes across to Rice. Finds Brooks. That's a brilliant strike and a good save from Odysseys. But we're holding on with 10 men. As it finds Sessegnon on the left. The highlight eventually ends. Uar takes the corner though. Into the back post. Rice hits the post. Brilliant save. Fabler clears the third one. Uar's got the chance to deliver. Virgil van Dijk's at the back stick. And it deflects wide off Pelmard. Brilliant defending from these boys. Albeit we're struggling with 10 men. We're putting our bodies on the line. And that's exactly what I want to see as a new manager. Firmino's going to get on the cleared corner. Back to Sessegnon. Now Hakimi. But we see it out. And you know what? With 10 to go, I'm going to put Lucero on the wing. He probably doesn't suit it. He probably can't play there. But we've got to try and see this through. Because if we could get a replay here and a result on the road, really would be a positive sign for us. And then we're just praying the injuries aren't bad. As Uar puts a free kick in, Bastoni heads wide. We're clinging on. We're still clinging on. And with 5 to go, we've got a throw on the right with Carl Walker-Peters. There's a 1-2 with Ward-Prowse to Lucero. To Ward-Prowse. There's no striker with him. But he's laid in Lucero here. And on the break, we could nick it. Lucero into the box. And that is a strike up with no confidence. A terrible finish. And it was nowhere near the target. 1 minute to go plus stoppage time. 5 minutes added on. And we are going to go time wasting. A draw would be a brilliant result. We're going to quit the overlaps. We're going to be more disciplined. We're going to slow it down when we win the ball. And we're going to drop that attacking line as well. Because we haven't got a striker as it is. And into stoppages we go. Let's get the fullbacks more defensive as well. One of them's naturally a centre-half. So shouldn't be an issue for Pelmard. And for Walker-Peters, it's a solid enough defender anyway. We've got 4.5 minutes of stoppages to go. Uar puts the corner in. Ward-Prowse headed away. It's going to be sickening if we lose it. But what a fight. Uar in. Firmino's offside, surely. We're going to VAR. There is no way he was onside there. We're going off for the check. I got my arm up straight away. You saw that. It is disallowed for offside. We're still clinging on. And these lads have put in a gargantuan effort defensively. 5 minutes of stoppage time up. We go to a replay. And with 10 men for the last 20 minutes, that was an absolutely incredible effort. Lots of positive signs defensively for this Southampton team. We just need that cutting edge. Our director of football did make a bid between the 2 games, so I'll go and show you that now. So I guess the big news here is how bad are the injuries, as Gilligan scored an absolute rocket, the youngster. Super player, excellent technique, did well. Volkov out for 4 weeks. Folwell out for 7 days, so he might just miss Friday's game and nothing else. Fabler makes his professional debut, did really well there, and Odysseys in goal was absolutely stunning. But let me go and very quickly show you the player that we've made a bid for, the director of football going for some experience, and it's a name that rung a bell, so let me go and show you. So firstly, before we look at the offer, just to let you know that I've dropped Jankovic to the under-23 side because I don't think he's good enough. He's out of contract the end of the year and some of the Swiss sides have come in for him. I'm not sure if he'll stay or go, but we're not too worried either way, especially with Gilligan's form there. In terms of the ins though, an offer was made for 32-year-old Jose Campagna from Milan. Now, it's about £7 million up front and 55 grand a week wages. And I thought the name rung a bell. This is the same Campagna who went to Crystal Palace in 2013, barely played and then went back afterwards. He's played all across Europe, got loads of experience, particularly for Levante and Milan. And I guess this is the beauty of the head coach. We would very rarely, as football manager players, invest big money in a 32-year-old who's going to be a solid squad player. But for us, if he comes in, he can play as the holding midfielder, he can play as the centre mid, he gives us that squad depth, and we can't argue with it. He's got a good personality, he's losing a bit physically, but he could still do a job for us off the bench and in odd games. So I'm looking forward to seeing if he comes in. But the director of football certainly signing where we need it, and now we might need attacking stars given the injuries. But there's one interesting one for the books. That one could be in by our next episode. And let's go and have a look at the schedule for when exactly that's going to be. And I think it would be silly if we didn't come back for the South Coast Derby against Bournemouth on the 31st of January and transfer deadline date just 2 days later. It's a very important episode for us, both in terms of survival and in terms of getting good players in. And we'll see what our director of football's made of, and hopefully exactly what our squad's made of. So if you're looking forward to that and you did enjoy those first 2 games in charge of Southampton, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know in the comments what you thought of our performances. I think defensively we've got a very good side. What I worry about, particularly with Folwell's injury, is have we got that cutting edge in front of goal? Have we got those scorers? Have we got the wingers to create? I'm not sure yet, but we'll wait and see as we go along. A brilliant display against Liverpool though, really gutsy defensive effort, and hopefully we'll be able to take that into the league games too. So if you want to stay up to date and see if we can avoid the drop, please do subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on. You'll get alerts as daily content releases from 2 long-term stories, a big one from Bangor City tomorrow as we finish season 6, before we're back on transfer deadline day and for the South Coast Derby in 2 days time here. Live stream series and the podcast channel, links in the eye above. A massive thank you for watching though, your continued support as always, and hopefully I'll see you next time for the big one.